effect, cause, effect, cause, effect, cause, effect, cause, effect, cause, and effect. They're the same thing. Namo Myo Renge Kyo, Namo Myo Renge Kyo. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your practice. We're in the Buddhism reference book project. Today's term is cause effect. Lots of opinions and ideas about this out there. In our world today, our modern practice of Buddhism, with all of the science that we learned growing up and our capacity to understand things, I think cause effect is much more intuitive to us today than it was, 27 centuries ago, or even a century ago. But that's what we're talking about today. Thank you for your support to grow this Sangha by liking and subscribing. You do wonders with the algorithm to get more people to find us more easily so they can be inspired to practice and stay strong in their resolve. Yes? So, here we go. Namo Myo Renge Kyo. Cause effect. The first association I make here is influence, the word influence, how we nudge things along, or how we are nudged along, right? Influence is a two-way thing, and it's happening constantly, right? If you look up time, I just did an addition on the time definition here about our friend Planck, Planck, great mathematician who talks about moments. Oh yeah, it's in moments. And the trillions and trillions of Planck minimal time increments that are in a second. And then considering again the 3,000 realms in a single thought moment. It's fascinating. So I don't want to go off track, but it's related very intimately with cause effect, right? So the second, in other words, influences are happening at a speed, at a rate of causation, right? The speed of causation, c squared, or c, which for some reason is called the speed of light, but is really the speed of causation of any action, the minimal time measurement, right? Those influences, both from our conscious side and all our other consciousnesses feeding into influences and being influenced. We're so distant consciously, samsarically, from that whole roiling activity. It's kind of surprising, kind of arrogant, the way we think we know who we are, how we are, right? When there's so much going on under the hood, as it were, under the Buddha hood. All right, stop it. Secondly, thought, word, or deed. Real common reference to cause effect, usually to karma. Also very intimately related, right? We're dissecting now what is going on in the organized system that is a human and the emergent sentient mind. Third, any action in the entire cosmos. See, we don't normally think that big, but we are in intimate relationship with everything, right? Actions are the definition of an occurrence that affects and is affected by its very existence. The moment something occurs, not only consciously, but way beneath that hood, right? It influences everything around it, its environment, and is influenced in return, yeah? Therefore, typo. Cause is effect and vice versa. It's so instantaneous. Something like 0 point, decimal point, 43 zeros until we get to an integer, 5, 9, something or other. It's in the book. Look it up. But can you imagine, right? 0.1 is a tenth. 0.01 is a hundredth. 0.001 is a thousandth. And that's only 2 zeros. Go 43 zeros. How tiny is that? Can you even picture it? Conceive of it? Here we are in the realm of Buddhism, right? Unfathomable, incalculable, right? So to discern a difference between cause and effect, it's really like looking at both sides of a coin. The coin is the coin. It has a heads and a tails, but that's cause effect. It's the coin, yeah? Fourth, a chain reaction of influence with momentum imposed on the kinetics of karma. See Engine of Life. All of this around the term cause effect. So let's see what the entry reads like. This term describes two aspects of the same thing. That thing is the formation aspect of energy, which simultaneously has energies to instantiate, as well as the influence and materialization of that instantiation, right? Formations, from energy to form. The formations area is where cause effect shows itself, expresses. What does it express and how is it expressed? That is the subject of karma, right? The tendencies and conditions from which energy manifests in myriad potential ways. Though we experience our karmic momentum constantly, right, as the amalgam of all energies from which we are manifest, as well as the repercussions of influences in our karmic stream, constantly roiling along, it is not the karma process that we can create or evaluate. There's where the rub is that we often misunderstand. We don't create karma, we only influence it. And the karma that we are, as well as the entire universe, is the construction of it and us. Right? Karma is karma. It's just the energy into formation, creating form. And the formations are where all the influences are imposed and derived and imposed in that process to be. And there's moment to moment to moment, there's momentum, right? So we are affected by it, and we can affect it. There's no good or bad, there's only the choices we make, the actions we impose, energies, right? Influences on the energies. What is actually occurring is our conscious cause-effect influence on our karmic flow, right? The freight train of karma. Picture a flowing river to which you can add or remove groundwork to modify the flow and direction of the river. The river is flowing at a certain rate with a certain volume of water in it, and you can put some big rocks on one side to make it, force it through a little a narrower portion, which will speed up the water because it's the same volume of water trying to get by, maybe creating eddies for, maybe you want fish to congregate there, whatever. You can do a lot to influence the river, but the river's the river, right? The river doesn't decide to speed up or make eddies, right? River is rivering, just like karma, right? This is a difficult concept to fully appreciate. For a moment, combine the idea of the 3,000 realms in a single thought moment with the idea that it takes many moments for our mind to to conceive a thought. As I was saying earlier, trillions upon trillions of moments just for us to create a second of thought. It's truly mind busting, yeah? Remember that the 10 worlds are only a small part of the 10 multiplied in themselves and the factors and the 3 realms of life to get to 3,000. So the idea that we're in any of the 10 worlds at any given time is completely delusional. And that just speaks to the magnification, if you will. If you can think of our mind, our brain, our eyes, all our senses, our consciousnesses work at a very, very sluggish pace compared to, I mean, you may be quick as a whip, right? I'm not saying we're slow, but I'm saying in relation to the process of life, the engine of life, things are happening at a rate far more granular, far more quickly than we're able to perceive. We're way back here looking at results. So the idea of knowing who we are, what we are, how we're doing, what we're doing, how cognizant we are of the engine of life in samsara, we're so far removed from the process. We just get, broad strokes, as it were. This is why we chant, right? Because by opening our Buddha mind can appreciate that tremendous activity and forming energies, right? It humbles us. It quiets us. It makes us much more aware of the process of life. It's a whole dynamic shift in the understanding of our lives, our environment, all life. That's what we're doing. With that understanding is why we develop such a deep sense of awe, and we aren't bothered by the little attachments we make from our slow, sluggish mind. We go, yeah, that's not important. Look at this. This is so much more. What this makes obvious is that we are never in any one world or realm, but that we are always, from moment to moment, experiencing a multitude, maybe 3,000, or influences of karmic momentum in constant modification. Do you see where the term impermanence comes in here in Buddhism? That the very idea that something is it's built on this delusion of ownership and solidity and permanentness. Just when you really see deeply how life works, that's just silliness, right? That's like Santa Claus. You see much more granularly, and you can appreciate, therefore, that the very fact that you can pick up a guitar and play it is amazing, right? Because the guitar, as well as you, are just like the frequencies emitted by those strings when you pluck them or hit them. It's so rapid. It's so everywhere. Yeah, it's fascinating. So the very idea that we use one world to influence another, or that we know a specific realm, well, it just is not real, and maybe quite egotistical. And isn't that the point always? That we choose a vantage point from which we can, like totalitarian, or dictatorships, that everything is as I say it is, and anyone else's opinion, well. And that's samsara. That's how we generally are. Not evil or good. It's just a limitation of our samsaric existence. Right? You wouldn't accuse a tree of wanting to be superior to the one next to it so it grows bigger. This is the trick we do with consciousness, right? We think that it's determinative. rather than understanding that consciousness is just a perceptive tool, right? Like a camera doesn't know a good picture from a bad picture. It just has a lens to capture light and translate that into an image via many processes, right? And lastly, consider the previous statement that 3,000 realms are shifting and sifting through each moment, each a cause-effect manifestation, manifesting much faster than our samsaric mind can begin to formulate a thought. Perhaps it becomes more easily understood that our best shot at enlightenment is to be in constant effort to keep our Buddha mind on the job. Our best hope for life-changing, karma-changing influence is to be in constant contact with our higher mind states. Who would argue with that? Only then can our conscious cause-effect influences amount to influence our karmic stream, manifesting our Buddha way, and lead us to awakening our fullest potential. Make sense? I hope. Yeah? If you have something to add, comment section. I love to read your comments. And that is the reference entry for cause-effect. If you think I missed something in that, please point that out. But that's a discussion, and I encourage you, and I maybe add to this, besides fixing that typo, is to see the book entry on moment. There's an entry on moment, and there's an entry on moment to moment. Two different things. I dissect the moment down to, as I said, Mr. Planck, Dr. Planck, and his scalar units of measure, identification, samsara, and it boggles the mind how much is going on underneath our consciousnesses, right? We don't tend to fully appreciate what's going on in there. Certainly not outside Buddhism, right? I mean, outside Buddhism, that's the subject of mysticism and magic because it's too big to understand. But Buddhism takes it head on. It says, let's dissect this. Let's look at what the nature of phenomena is, what's going on there. It's truly, truly amazing, vast, so vast that it calms you down because the hierarchy changes, right? And that feeds our consciousness. That's a good thing, right? Knocks that ego down a few notches. Relieves anxiety and suffering, which really we get out of our egotistical thinking that we're in control of everything. Relax. Experience, not control. Experience is amazing and far larger than our small control concerns. Namo Myo Renge Kyo. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your practice. Stay strong. Stay healthy. Right? Make comments so I know what you're thinking and anything else I can provide. This book continues to grow. I think I'm done, and then I think, I'll do Gongyo and I'll read through the meditations and I'll think, I really should say my 2 cents on this too. Even though technically terms like Wu-Ji and Yin-Yang, they're not technically Buddhist terms, but we use them in our dialogue to define ideas in Buddhism. So I cover those terms too, because it's important for us to be of like minds and speak similar language, vernacular definitions, so that we're all talking about the same thing. How you get insight from it, that's on you, right? We're all individual practitioners for our experience of Buddha-ness. So that's what this book is about, and yeah, I don't know what I'll do beyond this book, because this seems to be it feels like an opus. Whether it is or not, only you can be the judge of that. Okay, enough blah, blah, blah. I'm really enjoying doing this book and talking to you about it. I hope it's helpful. Let me know what you think. So far, a lot of positive feedback from you, so thank you for that. Again, take care of your health. Keep your practice strong. Be kind, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay? Bye for now.